Here we are with another watercolor painting. I first start the process by mixing my colors. I then apply water to the surface and paint the background, integrating the hair. Once the hair is integrated, I darken the colors by applying a mixture of Pthalo Blue, Quin Burnt Orange, and Violet to deepen the colors. I then mix Quin Magenta, Quin Gold, and Leaf Green for the base color of the skin. The paper wasn't dry yet, so I used a hairdryer to dry it. I then apply water to the face, the skin. The brushes I used were a squirrel hair brush and a Hake Brush. I then used the Hake Brush to apply the color. Using a synthetic brush, I left the highlights of the face and the neck. I then proceeded to dry the face with a hairdryer. Once the paper was thoroughly dry, I then mixed Quin Magenta, Quin Gold, and Leaf Green for a deeper value. I used a goat hair brush to apply it and a synthetic brush to clean the details. Once it was dry, I used the same method for the forehead. I then cleaned the details using a synthetic brush. I then proceeded with the same method on the nose, using the goat hair brush to apply the color and using the synthetic brush to clean the edges. I wasn't happy with the underlying skin tone just yet, so I decided to mix a deeper skin color using Quin Magenta, Quin Gold, and Dioxazine Violet. I wet the face, then I went with my goat hair brush to apply the soft details. Once it was dry, I used my skin tone mixture to deepen the details in the eyes. Again, I used my goat hair brush to apply the color and my synthetic brush to clean out the details. Using the same color, I proceeded to darken the skin underneath the hair. Once it was thoroughly dry, I used the same mixture to define the jawline and the cheek. Once it was dry, I continued to define the jawline using the same color, adding value. I then proceeded to darken the skin underneath the mustache. Now, it's defining the beard. I worked on the ear next. Once it was dry, I then decided to define the neck a little bit more, using the same skin tone color. Here you can see me use the goat hair brush to apply the color. Using my synthetic brush, I defined the edges of the color a little bit more. I let it all dry using a hairdryer again. I then mixed Quin Magenta, Quin Gold, and Dioxazine Violet to further define and deepen the details. I first defined the left eye, and then the right eye, and then the beard next. Once the beard was defined, I deepened the shadow underneath the ear. I proceeded to define the ear a little bit more, deepening the colors. I then dried it with my hairdryer. I then proceeded to work on the right shoulder. I then applied a mixture of Quin Magenta, Quin Gold, and Dioxazine Violet to the shoulder. Once it was all dry, I then applied the same color again but more saturated. Here you can see me mix the colors and then apply it. I then let it dry. Using a mixture of Pthalo Blue, Quin Burnt Orange, and Dioxazine Violet, I proceeded to darken the colors. Here you can see me apply that color and deepening the shadow. Once it was dry, I then mixed my mouth color next. For the mouth mixture, I used Quin Magenta and Quin Burnt Orange. I first defined the upper lip and then the lower lip. Generally, the upper lip is darker than the lower lip. I then darkened the inner mouth using Quin Burnt Orange, Quin Magenta, and Dioxazine Purple. I then defined the ear one last time. The eye needed defining more, so I defined it with my darker colors. I then defined the beard using my Quin Burnt Orange, Pthalo Blue, and Dioxazine Violet. Using my goat hair brush, I applied this beard-like texture. I also used it on the side of his head for his hair. I I then use a soft liner to define the mustache and let it all dry. I then proceeded to define the eye using my liner. Lastly, I used the goat hair brush to apply a texture to the hair, defining it a little bit more. I then let it dry. Now the painting's finished. Thank you for watching.